In this report, we look to see how many performance audit recommendations from calendar years 2015, 2016, and 2017 government has completed, and how many were not yet completed. Following up on past recommendations is an important part of the work of our office to assess whether government is completing its promised actions. Our recommendations to improve accountability and performance in the provincial public sector has impacts when government acts upon their commitments. Our approach is that 2 years after an audit, we go back to see if the government addressed the recommendations completely. This year, we expanded our follow-up report to give the legislature and the citizens of Nova Scotia more information to help to hold government accountable. We expanded our work to also follow up on recommendations from 4 years ago, and we report information provided by government on what it has done or plans to do to address recommendations assessed as not yet complete. We have also included summaries prepared by management for all performance audit recommendations from the 2018 calendar year to give an early indication of the actions taken or planned to address the risks we identified. The follow-up report is a tool that we provide to the members of the legislature and the people of Nova Scotia to know how government is doing at following through on the actions that it has committed to do. For this 2020 follow-up report, we looked at performance audits completed in the calendar years 2015, 2016, and 2017. There are 3 key messages in this follow-up report that those holding government accountable could consider. Firstly, for the 2015 performance audits, government completed 93% of the recommendations. Overall, this is positive, as government is delivering on making its promised changes. Government has continued to make progress to implement the recommendations that were outstanding last year. However, work remains for 5 recommendations that have not yet been completed. Secondly, for the 2016 performance audits, government completed 70% of the recommendations. This is disappointing, and after 3 years since the audits were completed, this rate should be higher. There are 13 recommendations that have not been completed from 5 audits during that year. The 5 audits cover important areas, including species at risk, school capital planning, homes for special care, licensed childcare, and critical infrastructure resiliency. The audits and recommendations identify risks, so completing the promised actions to address them is very important. Legislators holding government accountable could consider giving these audits and their recommendations more attention. Thirdly, for the 2017 performance audits, government completed 81% of the recommendations. This was the first year we followed up on the 2017 audits, and only 9 recommendations are not yet complete after 2 years. This is a very encouraging result, and I'm pleased to see government getting this work done. We urge government to continue to work to implement the remaining recommendations. The details of which recommendations have been completed and not completed are outlined in our report. This report provides ample information for direct questions to government on performance, what risks remain as a result, and when and how they will complete all outstanding promises. Our message in this report is quite clear. There are many organizations that have indeed completed their actions to address our audit recommendations, and this is great news. However, there is still work to be done. Members of the legislature and the people of Nova Scotia could pay attention to the 5 audits from 2016 that have lower overall completion rates. This is the area of most concern.